Welcome to Liminal Lent. Today's passage comes from Genesis, the 7th chapter, beginning with verse 11 and ending with verse 24. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, on the 17th day of the month, on that day, all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened. The rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah with his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife and the three wives of his sons entered the ark. They and every wild animal of every kind, and all domestic animals of every kind, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, and every bird of every kind, every bird, every winged creature. They went into the ark with Noah, 2 and 2 of all flesh, in which there was the breath of life. And those that entered, male and female of all flesh, went in as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. The flood continued 40 days on the earth, and the waters increased and bore up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters swelled and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the face of the waters. The waters swelled so mightily on the earth that all of the high mountains under the whole heaven were covered. The waters swelled above the mountains, covering them 15 cubits deep, and all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds, domestic animals, wild animals, all swarming creatures that swarm on the earth, and all human beings. Everything on dry land in whose nostrils was the breath of life died. He blotted out every living thing that was on the face of the ground. Human beings and animals and creeping things and birds of the air, they were blotted out from the earth. Only Noah was left, and those that were with him in the ark. And the waters swelled on the earth for 150 days. Liminal Lent. You know, we read the story of Noah to our kids. We use it with cute little animals, 2 by 2. That's how they learn the animal sounds. We talk about God promising and putting the rainbow in the sky. But this part, we don't really put in the children's books. I mean, getting the animals in, but then everything else dying and drowning, we kind of skim over that part. And it's quite horrible. It's quite tragic. All this death and destruction. The wages of sin is death. That's something that we don't like to think about. All of the death in the world, the consequences of sin. And in this text, there's not yet a promise. There's not yet, I will never destroy the earth with water again. We just have this, we're floating in a boat. The face of the earth has been wiped out and is covered with a bunch of water. And here we are for 150 days, waiting for the water to recede. Maybe wondering if it's gonna, or if this is our new reality in a boat. What are those liminal times like that in your life where the water has risen, things can't go back, the disaster has come, the dam has broken, and you're not yet at that point where you can rebuild? You're just waiting. You're waiting for the right time in which to step out again, to disembark, to put your feet on firm, solid land again, not knowing when that day will come. In the meantime, waiting into a future that's unknown. There's Noah and his family are safe in an ark. I'm sure they're busier than busy taking care of all those animals, but what is God going to do next? We have a lot of liminal moments like that. What is God going to do next? What am I going to do next? What are you going to do next? God is faithful. After this comes a promise of multiplication once again, a promise of putting the bow, the actual like bow and arrow in the sky. We talk about the rainbow, but I'm never using this weapon against us. But every time there's a little flood, kind of think about it. I'm not going to lie. So I want you to think about where you're floating right now. What are you waiting to recede? What are you waiting for the right time? And while you're waiting, with the future, the past change, the future yet unknown, as you wait, God is still sustaining you. God is still sustaining us. And we can give thanks for that.